We recently had a wonderful trip to Barcelona, and I took one day out to go and do a fantastic cookery course. And the thing that I learned to do was paella. Now, I'm not going to do it exactly according to the classical method because, you know, there's always a difference in ingredients and this and that and the other. But what you're seeing today will certainly please your guests. Now, one of the ingredients in the paella is roasted red pepper. My teacher insisted that the best way to roast the pepper is to do it directly over a gas flame. You certainly can do it in the oven, but they maintain you get a better taste. Now, I was amazed when I saw just how black the pepper is done. You can see the skin is pitch black. So after you've blackened it, you just leave it covered with cling film and then you peel it. And this is how beautifully the peel comes off. Now, to cut this little pepper up, we first of all just remove the stem end and just open the pepper and scrape out the worst of the pips. And then we'll cut it in long strips and then again into smaller blocks. Now the rice, because I couldn't get the proper fat short grain rice that they use in Spain, I decided to use a smaller grain rice and to toast it a little bit, just to give it that slightly richer flavor. We've got some fish stock here, which we're going to dissolve in hot water, and that is the stock we're using for the paella. I couldn't get the closed black mussels, so I've used the green lipped mussels on the half shell. With the fish we're using today is monkfish. It is a beautiful, firm little fish. And what we're going to do with the fish so that it marinates before we cook it is we'll give it some seasoning, we'll give it some olive oil, and we'll leave it in peace. What we've done with the prawns, the prawn's just been cut open, butterflied with a toothpick, and then we're going to season and oil and leave it to stand. Now, in a paella, there is invariably some meat products and some calamari. For the meat, we've used these lightly smoked pork rashers. And then we're going to use chicken thighs, which has been boned. And then the calamari, we've used the baby calamari tubes. Those again will be seasoned with garlic pepper, bit of olive oil, just to add flavor. Now, what we're going to do is to preheat the pan. You can see how boiling hot that pan is. And then we throw in the pork first. Now the pork gets stir-fried until it's nice and crisp. Then we add the chicken. Then we add the calamari. Now we are at the stage where we can start the paella properly. If you can find these Spanish red onions, buy them, otherwise the ordinary brown ones will do. And the onions must be very finely chopped, and remember to add the green onion seasoning before you add the onions to the pan. Once the onions are nice and soft and aromatic, then we'll add the garlic, which has been chopped into fine little strips, and the paprika. Then, if you happen to have it, then you can certainly use a pinch of saffron, but you know it's wildly expensive. We've cut across into each tomato, taken out the stem end, left it in boiling water, pulled off the skins, and now we're going to cut them into quarters. Then these tomato quarters get thrown into the processor and processed until you have a smooth puree. You can see how beautifully the onions have browned now. And now we'll add the pureed tomatoes and the chopped up peppers to the onions, and we'll reduce it out and concentrate. Jana, that really looks good, doesn't it? Now we're going to add the lightly toasted rice. Then we'll add this whole meat mixture back in. And then lastly, we add the stock, and we'll cook that slowly until all the stock is reduced in. While that is finishing cooking, we're going to cook the seafood. Now once again, we've heated the pan very, very hot. We start by cooking the fish, and the fish has been oiled and seasoned. So you don't have to concern yourself with adding oil to the pan or anything like that. Same story with the prawns. Prawns are always cooked meaty side down first. You can see how the rice has come to the top now, which is an indication that the rice is cooking. Once the rice has cooked completely, then we'll put the mussels on top of the rice. We'll switch the stove off, and we'll cover the pan with a dishcloth and leave it to rest. To finish off this gorgeous paella, we're going to sprinkle the top with chopped parsley, zested lemon rind, and fresh garlic. Mix it together, ready for sprinkling. Once the paella has had its 10-15 minutes resting time under the cloth, we remove the cloth, we turn the heat back on again. All the lovely seafood will be added to the paella, and we'll top it finally with this beautiful lemon parsley garlic mixture. Now you better enjoy this, otherwise I am going to burst into tears. Bon appetit.